Okay, so this is a short tutorial on how I might practice something with articulation because the other one was sort of slurred. So I have the flute part here from letter V in the fourth movement, and of course this is not for oboe, so I've never looked at this before. But first of all, this is obviously too fast for me to play at a faster tempo. So for this, we're going to be using a double tonguing method, but I might start out just trying to make sure I have the notes, whether I articulate them or whether I slur them. Even without a metronome, I just want to make sure I have the right notes. So I might go through and do something like this, like even slurred, tongue, doesn't matter, but sorry. So one thing you'll notice in the way that I even approach that is I'm doing it out of time. I'm still articulating, but I'm not playing the note. I'm trying not to play any wrong notes. Like I played like one wrong note, and because I was going too fast, and what I needed to do was just slow down ever so slightly in that moment. So I'll do that one more time, and I'll just kind of show you what I mean. Once I know what's coming, I'll go faster, but I don't know what's coming, so I'm gonna start slow. So I could see the patterns as I was going, and I was like, oh, I can see that I can play those four notes, and then I go on, right? So now I know what the notes are, and I kind of know what the fingerings are. So with this, I would start slow immediately. So I'm putting my metronome on, whatever it happens to be. So this, I might do this. This would be beating, in this case, it would be the 16th note. So these are 30-second notes. So I'm going. So as you can hear, I'm single tonguing, but this is eventually going to be double tongued. So I might start in even at this speed. Now that I know I have the notes, double tonguing, and I'm going to make them very short. So I'm gonna do each of them as an individual note in this tempo. So I'm really putting that separation, making sure that the ta and the ka are very, very precise. Now, assuming I've gone up to speed, and now I'm doing this at a double the speed. So I've gone up and I've gone up and I've gone up and I've gotten to whatever double this speed is, and I come back down. So now instead of it being the 16th note, it's being the 8th note. So it's going to be twice as fast. So I messed up in that spot, but I would have cleaned that up in the process. So, sorry. Yeah. So now, one thing to practice, even while you're doing it slow, is rhythms. So when you have these groups of four notes, one of the best rhythms to do is take one note and make it longer and make the other three notes shorter. So you do something like this. So what I'm doing is I'm playing, and I'm keeping the articulation ta kata 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 kata. So I'll do that one more time. So as you can hear, the first of each group of four notes, I'm making longer. So it's long, short, 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 long, short, 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 long, short, 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 long. And if you're at a faster tempo, it would just be. And so I'm doing the same thing. I've just made it da, kata, 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 kata. But the idea is that there's a longer note that gives you time to prepare the next three notes in the chain that will then eventually land on the next long note. So you have this extra space to show you kind of where you're going. And then you can make each of the four notes in each group of four the long note. So that was the first one. The next easiest one is the last one. So it sounds something like this. Sorry. So here I'm going taka-taka, 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 taka-taka. So it's the same idea. It's just that instead of the first note being long, it's the last note. So I'm gonna do that one more time. So the first three notes will actually be a pickup because you're gonna put the long note still on a beat. I'm sorry. Well, you can do that, but I'll do that way. And so on. The other option is to still put the downbeats with the beats and just still elongate the last note. What I mean by that is taka-taka, taka-taka, which is probably easier. Sorry. And again, the whole point is that the long note becomes a note that gives me time to practice, time to look ahead. And then you would just make that faster and faster and faster until it gets fast. So you're using the metronome. Another rhythm that's common is just to do long, short, long, short, long. So instead of, you just do. Right? Or you can do short, long, short, long, short, long. Sorry. All of these strategies take time, but as you start moving the metronome up with each of them, it gets easier and easier and it gets faster and faster. So I hope that is somewhat helpful. So the bottom line is picking a tempo that's slow enough to be able to play it, but you're still doing the articulations, changing rhythms, and using the metronome to get it faster little by little. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, but I hope that's helpful.